Welcome back to Jackie's Movies, where we're discussing the 95th Academy Award nominations for Best Picture, our 8th film, Women Talking, which is exactly what is going on in this film. The women are chatting it up. No, but in all seriousness, it's written and directed by Sarah Polley and stars an amazing cast. Just to name a few, we've got Claire Foy, Rooney Mara, Frances McDermott, and that's just naming a few. This film follows this colony of Mennonite women and their discussion of whether to stay and do nothing, stay and fight, or leave the colony for good because of the traumatic events that are happening to them from the men in this colony. They wake up with no recollection of what just happened except for the bruises and horrific other things that happen after they've been raped. And, the film is devastating, disturbing, but it's also funny at times in the most respectful way because of the authentic conversations that they're having. This film's very much like a play where we're just in this one barn and we're listening to these women chat about what to do, whether to stay or to go or to do nothing. And it's a perfect example of a film that I absolutely loved. I'm so excited that I saw it and it was very impactful, but I never want to see it again. And I really do mean that in the best way. It's just a lot. And we're addressing a lot of serious topics. But the writing is just so lovely. I mean, we have these women that span from all different generations, from these like grandmothers to 40-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and the like tweens, and then also the children. And it's horrific and awful that this is happening to the whole wide range of these women, but that's what they have in common. But the really cool part is that we're playing with faith, democracy, community, recovery, and forgiveness. And the Democratic side is the coolest part to watch because they have a time limit here. They only have 2 days to decide what their fate is going to be, because they're like, enough is enough. Like, this can't keep happening because it's just so awful. And they only have 2 days because the men are gone. They have gone into town to kind of rescue and bail out the men that are responsible for doing this so that it will just keep happening and the cycle keeps going on. And so they're really on a time crunch, and they decide to vote of whether to stay and do nothing, stay and fight, or leave. And it comes down to staying and fighting or leaving. And the women immediately just decide to have like 12 of their biggest leaders discuss their fate, and the other women will follow after that. And it's such a perfect display of democracy because they listen to each other. And it's wonderful. The acting where no one is speaking and they're just listening is the coolest part of the film. They respect each other's opinions, and they're all very different opinions. They all go through their own different struggles and respect what each other has to say. But then also, I loved so many of the lines in it, but really how they talk about forgiveness and saying that the only way to forgive someone is when it's not forced upon you. You can only forgive when you're ready to forgive, not when someone is saying like, you have to forgive me, please forgive me. It just won't work. And the way that these women can ultimately forgive anything that's happened to them is to leave. And that's really not giving anything away. It's just saying that's how they know to forgive. But do they leave? Don't they leave? We don't know. Anyways, it's actually based off this book by Miriam Taves, which is so scary and awful that this is a true story, that this happened in 2010 in a colony in Bolivia. The fictional part is the talking part, this whether the women decide to leave or not. But this really did happen in real life, which is so scary and awful. And I'm so happy that there is a movie based off of this because it had such a respectful way to portray Mennonite women and to portray their faith. These actors did an incredible job, and I'm really excited to see what happens at the Oscars. I don't think that it deserves the Oscar for Best Picture. I'm really happy it got nominated so that people could really see this film and it was brought to light, but for its authenticity and what it is. But yeah, I don't think it needs an award. It's a beautiful film. I loved the way that they did the lighting for everything. It's almost like it's in black and white to show that we're in this society of, no electricity and this just old school environment. But then it's not quite black and white to really portray, no, we're in 2010. Like, the world is going on. People have iPhones, but they don't know how to read or write, and they've never had an education, and yet their ability to sincerely respect each other's opposing opinions and respect what each other has to say and hold each other accountable and hug each other and love on each other during the hardest of times is something that's very beautiful and why women are amazing and so resilient. So I'm excited to hear what y'all think about this film. Let me know in the comments.